Hello again, my name's John, a retired cook from the northeast of England, and welcome to my latest recipe. And in this one I'm making one of the most successful, if not the most successful pie recipes that was ever on our menu. And it's this outstanding individual creamy chicken and chorizo pie. They're extremely easy to make and absolutely delicious. You can view the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. I'll leave a link in the description under the video, or you can click on the eye icon top right of the screen to take you directly to the recipe page. I'd also like to thank my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thanks supporters for their very kind help in producing these tutorial videos. I'll be giving you all a name splash and shout out a little later in the video. Okay, let's get on with today's recipe. And this is the chorizo sausage I'll be using in this recipe. Now I'm using the mild version, but you can use the spicy hot one if that's what you like. You can also use this sliced version of the chorizo sausage too. And all you have to do is to cut off the required weight and dice it up small as shown. Remember, these are individual pies and you don't want any of the ingredients too large. Onto the chicken, and as I'm using my razor sharp filleting knife, I'm protecting my holding hand with one of our ambidextrous anti-cut gloves. And to protect the glove from the raw chicken, I'm using one of our disposable nitrile gloves on top. Now dice the chicken into small pieces, approximately 12mm or half-inch cubes. I'm using breast meat on mine, but thigh meat is also a very good option for this recipe. Right, that's the chicken out of the way. And this is the rest of the ingredients already prepped and ready to go. Okay, let's put this amazing filling together. Start by adding the olive oil to your pan and get it hot. Add the diced chicken and fry until it's white. By the way, you can make this filling well in advance, preferably the day before. Now you can add your diced chorizo sausage and fold it in with your spatula. Another thing I like about this filling is the orangey colour that comes out of the chorizo. Not only do these pies taste amazing, they look amazing too. Now add your diced chestnut mushrooms and mix those in. And my goodness, the aroma in my kitchen at the moment is absolutely amazing. Now this step is optional, but I like to give these pies a little extra smoky flavour with a half teaspoon of this mild smoky paprika. And now you can add your chicken stock. And if you don't have any natural chicken stock, just use a half chicken stock cube dissolved in 75 ml of hot water. And that's all I'm using. At this point, give the filling a quick taste for seasoning. Remember, the pastry has salt in it too, as does the chorizo sausage. So it's just a little black pepper for me. And if you're using the spicy hot chorizo, you definitely don't need any pepper. Right, in goes my diagonally chopped spring or green onions. Time to add the cream and mix that in too. Now if you want, you can use alternatives to cream like creme fraiche, yogurt, even cream cheese, but nothing beats the real thing, good old double or heavy cream. To thicken the filling, I'm using corn flour, you may know that as cornstarch, mixed with 2 or 3 tablespoons of cold water. The final ingredient to go in is the chopped parsley, but you can use whatever mild green leafy herb that you like. Coriander, also known as cilantro, is pretty good in this recipe too. Okay, give that a final mix, clean down the sides of the pan with your spatula and get the lid on. Now how easy was that? All you got to do now is to let it completely cool, then get it into the fridge for at least 2 hours, or preferably overnight. Okay, on to making the hot water crust pastry. And this pastry has got to be the easiest and tastiest pastry you'll ever make. Start by putting your water in a small saucepan and onto a low heat. Firstly, add the lard to the pan. Now lard is a pork product, so if you don't like or use pork ingredients, use a solid vegetable fat instead. Or you can get away with just using all butter. Next, you can add the butter to the pan. Now let that slowly heat up until all the fats have melted. And while that's heating up, get your flour into a large bowl and add the salt. Now mix those together and form a well in the middle. Soon as the fats have melted, add the hot liquid to the flour in the bowl. And using my trusty wooden spoon handle, I'll bring it all together. Once you have it roughly mixed, turn it out onto the bench and start to bring it together with your hands. It should be cool enough by now, but always check first. Try not to work the dough too much. Use what my old boss used to say, light hands. Form the dough into a rectangle and split it into 3 pieces. Wrap each piece in cling film as shown. Now get it into the fridge for at least 1 hour before using it. For these pies I'll be using our 12.5cm or 5-inch individual pie tins. And if you want to follow this recipe exactly, these pie tins are now available on our website if you're interested. Now I'm greasing mine with a little lard. Butter or a solid vegetable fat will do the same job too. For rolling the pastry out, I'll be using our adjustable stainless steel rolling pin. Now these are also available on the website. These amazing rolling pins take all of the guesswork out of rolling your pastry out to the correct thickness. And for this one, I'll be using the 3mm or 1/8 spacer. On to rolling out the pastry. Now if your pastry's been in the fridge for more than 2 hours, take it out 30 minutes before you intend to use it. So take 1½ of your pieces of pastry and gently blend them together. This will make it supple and easier to roll. I'll start by rolling out the bases of the pies. Start by dusting your bench and your pastry with a little flour. Begin rolling it out as shown. The pastry needs to be long, but about 7½ inches wide for these pie tins. To cut the bases out for these pie tins, you'll need something in the region of about 7 inches in diameter. Once you get the width right, concentrate on getting the right thickness to the pastry furthest away from you. That'll save you rolling it out to about 2 foot long. And this is another great use for your bench scraper. Once that front part is at the correct thickness, you can cut out your first base. Now simply move your pastry forward for the next one. Don't forget to get the correct thickness, keep rolling until your edge spacer touches the bench. You really can't go wrong. Just keep rolling and cutting until you have all 4 bases made. Now do the same for the pie lids. This time you can use the actual pie tin to cut out your pie lid circles. And that's it, all of the pie lid circles are made. Okay, I'll have a quick clean up and I'll be back in a moment. Time to put these beautiful pies together. First job is to make the egg wash. Crack a large egg into a container, add a dash of milk and whisk vigorously until it runs off the whisk as a loose liquid. Right, what I'll do now is make up one of the pies so you can see the process from start to finish, and I'll do the other 3 off camera. I'll start by centralising the base pastry over the top of the greased pie tin, lightly persuading it into the tin with your fingers as you go. For those guys and girls with long fashionable nails, get a piece of spare pastry and use that to push the pastry right down into the corners of the tin. Now it is important for the finished shape of the pie to get that pastry right down into that corner where the sides meet the base. Right, I'll get my now set filling out of the fridge. And there's another great use for our dough-proofing shower caps. Using a spoon, fill the pastry case up until it's level with the top of the pie tin. Don't go over that, as this filling will expand some in the oven, so you need to allow some space for that expansion. Level it off and tidy it up. Right, brush the egg wash all around the lip of the pastry base. Also egg wash around the inside edge of the pie lid. Carefully line up the lid with the pie base and gently press it down all around the edge of the pie. To complete the seal, crimp all around the edge of the pie with your fingers as shown. Now take a small knife and cut away the excess pastry from around the pie. Once more, you can crimp around the edge of the pie just to tidy it up a bit. Cut 2 or 3 vent holes in the centre of the pie. And all that's left to do now is to give the lid a good coat of the egg wash. And that's it, it's ready to bake. I'll see you in a moment when I get the other 3 ready. Before going any further, preheat your oven to 170 degrees Celsius, that's 340 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 3. And there you go, all 4 pies egg washed and on a baking tray and ready to go into the preheated oven. And they are looking fantastic. And I hope you agree, there's been nothing too difficult in making these at all. Right, once they're safely in the oven, you can set your timer for 50 minutes. And you can bet your boots I'll be clock watching for these to come out, because these are my absolute favourite pies. And while those are baking, I hope you don't mind if I give my 4 recipe books a quick shout out. The books have lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in them. And also, book 4 in this series is totally dedicated to bread recipes. Also, the skeleton style oven gloves, now supporting our company name, are also available too. Just check out the link in the description box to our website store if you're interested in any of these items. Okay, time's up on these beauties. Time to get them out of the oven. And they really are looking and smelling amazing. Okay, without taking them out of the tins, I'll get them onto the wire rack for now. These are way too tender to attempt to get them out of the tins just yet. Okay, I've just got to be patient a bit longer. When I come back, I'll get one of them out of the tin and of course have a little taste. Or a big taste. My money's on the latter. At last, time to have a look and a taste of these wonderful pies. The first thing you should notice is the colour. The chorizo orange hue has come through the pastry and it makes them look very appetising. The bottom of the pie looks nicely done. Right, I'll try to cleanly cut it down through the centre. I hope you heard that little click as it went through the crispy pastry on the bottom. Doesn't that reveal look awesome? I know I keep saying it, but I really wish you could experience the aroma from these. Finally, time to have a taste. No knife and fork this time, straight in for a big bite. And in my opinion, these pie tins are ideal for an individual adult-sized pie. And oh my word, that is so deliciously tasty. This is truly an amazing recipe. I really hope you all try this one. Then and only then will you see why I'm so upbeat about it. In my opinion, the best pie in the world. Absolute massive thumbs up for this one, guys. And as promised at the beginning of the video, here is the latest list of my Patreon, PayPal and Super Thank You button supporters. And they are Bento, Sandra Sposetta, Tweak Engine, Catherine Dodds, Jolly Swagman, Rob Peacock, Sarah Lee, Cabraxis, Tyson Williscroft, Jan Reed, Alita Sullivan, Diddley Penguin, Jens K3250, Max Nippard, Nick Porter 17, New Breed TV 3833 and Coniston 3106. And there's also 2 who wish to remain anonymous. Thanks very much, guys. I really do appreciate all that you do in supporting the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in your kitchen and bye for now.